Schöpfung in der Blutarmut.
Good evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
You seem happier than before.
I live with Mrs. Fishburne now, in her house. I have a bed and everything.
Das freut mich für dich. Lies doch mal.
Tell me your feelings about Seymour's death, Rufus.
I am sad for Mrs. Fishburne, not for her dead son. I was afraid of him and his threats. I don't think a lot of people will miss him.
Ja, so ist das, wenn man nur Leuten droht, ne? Und Gewalt androht. Das vermisst eigentlich keiner mehr.
So how is your new life going?
Good. I have a roof over my head and warm meals. Mrs. Fishburne is the best. But she's so sad. I hear her crying at night.
Even if she did take you in, Mrs. Fishburne lost her son, who she loved very much.
I know, but it makes me feel funny. I should feel bad for being here after Seymour died, not happy.
Seymour's death has nothing to do with you, Rufus. You have every right to be happy.
Mrs. Fishburne has been like a mother to me, and it's my turn to help her the best I can.
Ja.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about...
A real...
I don't know what to...
So...
Na, wunderbar. Jetzt hat er ein Haus.
Is this really over? The fear...
Good evening, Mrs...
Of course. Dr. Reed.
Ja, ist alles vorbei.
There's in the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
I'm so sorry about your loss, Mrs. Fishburne.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Could you check Rufus's health for me, please? I've been taking care of this young nipper since my poor Seymour died.
Very well. But why so nervous?
Even if he lives with me now, Rufus still spends too much time outside. He grew up in the streets, you see, and he's kept his old habits.
I'd like to know more about your son's death, Stella.
I was so afraid to see Seymour arrested and executed that I never thought about him being murdered.
With all due respect, your son has escaped judgment for far too long. I have no mercy for the merciless.
With all due respect, Doctor, nobody knew my Seymour like I did, and certainly not you.
In the end, Seymour avoided being judged for what he did. Does that not disturb you, Stella?
For months, my greatest fear was to see my son being arrested and hanged. Now that he's dead, no one will ever know.
Do you believe your son could have avoided being caught forever?
I have no idea. Sometimes I felt like he was becoming more and more careless. Perhaps he wanted to be caught.
So, you live here with Rufus now. And how is everything?
Yeah. We both had our share of tragedy, but I suppose it's a relief not to be alone in life.
Did Rufus talk to you about his past?
I knew the boy had a hard time in the streets, but I had no idea how miserable he really was. And I suspect he won't tell me all that he remembers.
Danke für den Bit. Sag mal. Was geht? Ja, ich bin jetzt schon gut viel weiter. Das Internet ist aber heute, lass mich nicht lügen, ich glaube 3 oder 4 Mal abgekackt. Bisschen eklig, aber sonst.
Goodbye.